Andy Crestodina, co-founder, strategic director of Orbit Media Studios, and he's going to talk about my favorite scary part of this game with engagement, social media, and analytics. My gosh, we were just having this conversation today, Andy, about how even analytics is changing and keeping up as fast as all the social and engagement stuff going on. So I can't wait to see what you're going to share with us on this, and I want to thank you for coming on, and I'm ready to take 2 more pages of notes because of what you're going to tell us.
Yeah, huge topic, one of my favorite topics, and the one thing that people tend to want to talk about, and it's a great way to wrap it up, because now we're going to pull it all together, and we're going to do measurement to see what's working and what's not. Just as Mary said, it's about customer engagement, but customer engagement through content. So, Dean, am I coming through okay? Can you hear me, see me? Am I sharing my screen just fine?
Everything looks good.
Loud and clear, and yep, we're all good to go.
Excellent. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to measure the performance of content, and I'm going to demystify it. It's not that hard. I'm going to show you step by step how we'll actually prove that our work was working. We're going to find out what's working better than other stuff. We're going to optimize based on the performance of the things that we published. But I'm also going to slow down a little bit and wind it back to the point where we make sure that we're setting it up properly. I'm going to do a little bit of analytics setup because I find that a lot of the clients and people I talk to and people I know and work with are missing the little setup things that make the real analysis possible. So here we go. Once again, one last reminder, happy to be anchorman in the batting order here. And just a quick reminder that the hashtag for this event, SMS Summit. And here we go with a quick analytics presentation to top this off. 1 in 3 marketers don't know which tactic has the biggest impact on revenue. Think about that. 1 in 3 of us don't really know what's working. In other words, most people don't or 1 in 3 don't have an opportunity to optimize because they don't really know what's working. What a lot of people do actually is think that it's someone else's job, and so I want to address that first and very briefly. Whose job is analytics? I'm making the case that analytics is the job of the marketer. It's to measure the impact of the action. If anyone drove to work this morning and they're asking themselves, whose job was it to do the dashboard on the car? That was your job. That's the driver's job. Nobody would ever say, oh, I'm too busy driving, I can't look at my dashboard. I'll have someone else do it. That would be ridiculous. That would be crazy. That sounds crazy because it is crazy, because the person that takes the action is the person that needs the insights. That's the person that needs the measurement, the metrics, the knowledge, the data. How fast am I going? Is my engine running hot? Do I have gas? These are the basic things that you need to know when you're driving, and these are the basic things that you need to know when you're marketing. What's getting traffic? Which traffic sources are the highest converting? Where are people coming from? What are people doing when they get here? Which things have I published are performing well against others? So I'm going to just do this in a basic way with a couple of quick questions. The first one is this. Which social network drives the most traffic? Basic, right? You probably know where this one is, but we're warming up and I want to show it to you now. We're going to use this just like a little breadcrumb trail I've got up here. Acquisition, that's the broad category. All traffic, deeper down, right? And then channels, the channels report. By the way, these main sections here on the left, you may have noticed this. They're organized in Google with acquisition or audience acquisition, behavior, conversion. Notice that? That's like almost like ABCs. These are the ABCs of analytics. It's also like the funnel, which is acquisition, where they came from, behavior, what they did, conversion, who took which action. So it actually goes, I guess when you got 2,000 math PhDs on staff like to do at Google, you get a little bit witty with naming your reports and at least put them in that order. Quite clever. So yeah, we're in the first one here at the very top, acquisition, an acquisition report. So under channels, click on, so these are all your channels. Right? This is called the default channel grouping dimension right here. So click on social, and you're going to see all your social networks, and there they are. Right? Now, an easy way to this is like the spreadsheet, like the Microsoft Excel view. Let's simplify that down by setting a different view. These up here at the top. I love changing the views. The percentage view will show it to us all at once. There you go. Which social network drives the most traffic? 3 clicks, and here they are organized on a little pie chart. Very simple answer, right? And that's what analytics is for. I know that wasn't like major insights, but that's what analytics is for, is answering questions. People who get confused by it, they're not actually doing analysis. They're not answering questions. They're not looking for information. They're just clicking around a bunch of reports. That's not analysis. That's just reporting. This is a key difference. Think about this. Key difference. Reporting is not analysis. It's called Google Analytics. It's meant to do reporting. It's meant to do analysis. So yeah, I mean, some people who get discouraged by it, they say, I don't know how to use it. This is confusing to me. It's because they're not using it with purpose. Ask a question. Go find the answer. Let's do it again. Which social network drives the best traffic? Much better question, right? Much more interesting. This is going to be a lot more fun. But first, we're going to take a step back. How does Google Analytics work? And we're going to set up goals. Very briefly, Analytics works with a combination of JavaScript and cookies. That's basically it. A visitor goes to your website. Your website has some JavaScript, which gets triggered. The JavaScript is triggered, and then it talks to, reads from, and writes to 5 different cookies on your website. Okay? So that's basically the fundamentals of it. Once it sees what's in those cookies, is the cookie there? Has the person been here before? Were they here recently? All the stuff that happens there as they click around page to page, a little bit of JavaScript on every page. It reports all that data back to Google's mothership. Google has a giant spaceship that's floating in orbit. Not really. Probably not. I'm not really sure. I like to imagine it that way. It's more fun for me. But they do have a data center somewhere that has all this data that collects every click and everything that happens on all of our websites. Now when you log into Analytics, you get to see the reports on that data. The bottom line, it's JavaScript talking to cookies. That's why Analytics doesn't need to ever see the log files on your server. It's just a little bit of JavaScript on each page, talking to cookies on each person's device. Now, here's where that matters. If you've got a contact form, success, victory, money, someone filled out your contact form, right? I blurred out the name to protect the ignorant. They fill out this request a demo form, and what happens? If when they fill that out and press that little button, they see a thank you message without going to a thank you page, they didn't go anywhere. URL never changed. They're on the same page. The JavaScript was never triggered. You have to set up special event tracking to be able to track that, which most people don't do. So this is a problem. You need to have not just thank you messages, which are just a thing on that page. You need to have a thank you page, a different URL. It sends the person somewhere. That is why in Analytics, and it takes 2 seconds to do, as long as your site has a page for thank yous, go to the admin section. Over here it's going to say goals. Under your view it's going to say goals. Click on goals. And by the way, we're going to share notes, we're going to share slides, you can get all this. If you're, just sit back, you don't have to write all this down. This is very basic. I've made videos that show how to do this, but just to review. Analytics, goals. Now we're going to tell it the destination, the URL, the actual thank you page. Give it a value of 1 or any value you want. It's kind of arbitrary. I just set 1. There are fancier ways to do it. And now it knows what victory looks like, what success looks like, the thank you page. There's your value. Now you can turn the funnel on, tiny funnel, just 1-page funnel, the contact page. This is the page that we're on before the thank you page. Is it required? Yes. We tell it the previous step. Now, Dean, this is it. Now you see all the conversions, the visitors who converted. They took an action. They are no longer just a visitor. They went from a visitor into a lead, or a visitor into a subscriber, or a visitor into a job candidate, or a visitor into a donor, or a visitor into a fill in the blank, whatever, registrant, webinar registrant, all of us converted. This is the idea, right? And now you get that key bit of information that allows you to measure performance, because now Google Analytics knows what success looks like. It didn't know until now. It doesn't know by default. You have to tell it what your thank you pages are. And now your pages report, right, one of the most important reports in the behavior section, what pages people viewed, will have that little chart on the side that shows the value of each page, right? I said the value of a conversion is $1. If the value of a conversion is $1, this page is worth, every visit to this page is worth 4 cents. This page is worth 3 cents. You get the idea. This is a blackout. It's dead. There are no lights off unless you set up your goals. Okay, now we're ready to do it. Which social network drives the best traffic? Okay. So now we're going to look at acquisition, all traffic, channels, social. Again, we're right back here. We're right back here. Same place. Now there's a little drop down that lets us choose any goal that we've created. I have a goal set up for newsletter subscriber because I'm trying to measure the performance of my content, not just for leads, but for subscribers, because this is a broad group of people who come. These are people I drove from social media or from those slideshows that Mary mentioned, or all the different things that I've published. These people are unlikely to become leads often, but they might take an action and sign up for my list. You can do this for anything. I'm just going to do it for subscribers first. Choose newsletter subscriber, and there they are. There they are. Look at how key this information is. I can see the percentage of people from any social network who take any action on my website. And immediately insightful. Visitors from LinkedIn convert into a subscriber at a rate of 1.25%. That is twice the rate of visitors from Twitter. Wow. Now I know that activity in LinkedIn is worth double that of activity in Twitter in terms of conversions and list growth for this website. Useful, brilliant, helpful, insightful. That little bit of analysis gave us some real action. Now we get to the action part. Right? Question, answer, action. Analytics does not affect your marketing, only actions affect your marketing. So obviously we're going to focus on the social networks that drive the highest conversion rates. Right? Right? If it doesn't drive conversions, then it might be good for brand awareness, but it's not really going to give us long-term sustainable competitive advantage. Now, lead generation from social, this is common. I'm going to choose a different thing in this drop-down, just lead generation, choose leads, and I see very low conversion rates. Not surprising. This is true for almost every site. Right? Visitors from social are not that likely to become a lead. Customer engaged, perhaps, but not customer converted into a lead, not a new business customer. On the other hand, go back up a level, not from social, but all traffic channels. Now you're seeing the broader channels, the broader origins, such as the default channel groupings. And you can see organic search, direct email traffic, referral traffic, and social. You can see them all in one place. And this almost always turns out to be the case. Results may vary. Check it for your own. Social visits search visits are much more likely to convert. The visitor had intent. Visitors from search, you kind of know what they're thinking. You don't know who they are, but you know what they're thinking. They were searching. They had their fingers on a keyboard, right? Visitors from social, totally the opposite. You know a lot about who they are, but you don't know what they're thinking. It's totally different. Targeting in Facebook, you might know granular details about this person's profile, right? Demographics, age, preferences. They like this page. This is what they're interested in. But you don't know what they want at the time. Organic search, exactly the opposite. But bottom line, action taken, right? Focus on the networks. Like, focus on maybe the networking benefits of social media. Social is not just about traffic. Social is not just about dumping links on the internet. Social is about making friends, interacting, talking to people, networking, blogger relations, outreach, collaboration, pitching that guest post, right? PR. Lots of benefits of social beyond just direct traffic. I think the best benefits of social, in my opinion, are the indirect benefits, the networking benefits, the long-term friendships. Sadly, karma and friends are not in analytics. I wish analytics had a karma report on. That would be cool. Moving right along. Which posts are the most engaging? Okay, here we go. These posts are the most engaging. I can see in my all pages report. Here they all are. If I filter this, just put in the blog, I can see all just my blog posts. And the comparison view will show me this is another view up here, will show me the behavior metrics, right? Such as time on page. Wow, okay, this shows me immediately that relative to the site average, the time on these pages was way higher. Obviously, those are the most engaging posts. Took 2 seconds, right? I went to all my pages, filtered for the blog, switched to the comparison view, and selected time on page. You do it anytime, takes 2 seconds. In this case, I see a whole bunch of the data suggesting that these are all from the same blog category. Okay, I know my audience likes that. Now I can go publish more content on those topics. Or do more to promote those, maybe lower traffic but super high value things. Sometimes things just don't show up because they weren't promoted as well. Content marketing is a challenge in promotion, not just creation. Finally, we're going to learn which posts inspire action. This is the best one. Ready? Which posts inspire people to take action? Which posts inspire people to convert? Again, I'm back at the all pages report, which is behavior. Behavior, site content, all pages. Here are all my pages. And again, I want to focus just on the blog. Think about it. There's 2 kinds of pages on your website. There's the content marketing content, the blog posts, the articles, the helpful stuff where you're giving away your advice, the useful practical things like Mary mentioned. And then there's the sales pages, the brochure pages, the products, the services, the pages designed to convert the people into leads. So I'm looking at the content marketing content here first. I want to measure its performance, the engagement on my content. Now this is not a very useful report because the page value here, the numbers are super low. Everything is less than 1 penny. So I'm going to show you a better report that's in the conversion section. Remember acquisition behavior conversions? Down at the bottom. Acquisition behavior conversions. Reverse goal path shows me what people were doing before they converted. I'll say that again, it's very important. The reverse goal path report shows me what people were doing before they made it to the thank you page. You can check this for any goal. From that drop down up there, I can choose other goals, such as newsletter subscriber. Got that in place. This is the thank you pages from the newsletter subscriber actions. What were they doing right before they converted? Okay, I want to see just the blogs, so I can create a filter to show me just the blogs. I'm going to have to click the advanced filter to do that because it's not in the first column. That little filter box only filters the first column. The advanced settings let me filter other columns, like goal previous step 1. What were they doing right before they converted? Let's check the blog. Goal previous step 1 is the blog. And voila, here they are. This many people subscribe to the newsletter after reading that blog. This many people subscribe to the newsletter after reading that blog. These are the articles that you have published that have the greatest power to grow your list, to attract a subscriber. But it's insufficient because I need the data on the total number of views to calculate the conversion rate. I don't want the raw number because maybe very different numbers of people saw these articles. So I'm going to go to this report here and find the total number of pages. Got to do a little math. It's worth it. Here's the page and the number of page views. Here's the number of subscribers to those pages. Divide one column by the other, and you get the total number of conversions, or the total conversion rate for each of those articles. Think about that for a second. You are going to be able, tomorrow, later tonight, you can calculate the percentage of visitors who subscribed to your newsletter after reading each of your articles. You can answer the question, which of your posts inspire action? Even in the top 10, you're going to find wildly different results. Some things convert nobody. Some things convert a lot of people. Get the rest of the data and you're going to find a dramatic difference. This will change. Your content strategy will never be the same. You're going to realize, I should be focusing way more on that type of content. Now, this is a long and slow, complicated way to do it, but I know some people at Clipfolio. I have no relationship with them. I'm not an affiliate to anybody. But they made a report that does this math for you by combining those two reports. I've got a link to it here. So when you set up this, just click on this and connect it to analytics. Find those top converting posts. And then put on your traffic driving gloves because any visit to those are going to be worth more than any visit to anything else. Drive traffic however you can. Put those in heavy social rotation. Put those in your email signature. Put those on your home page. Link to your high traffic pages. Link those directly to the high converting pages. Think about that. Find the best cheese on your website and then find the best mouse traps and make the shortest connection you can between them. That's the best action you can take in marketing. That's the one thing you can do in the shortest time that'll make the biggest difference. And finally, just publish more stuff on those topics, right? The point is empathy. Empathy is the great marketing skill. Empathy is the point. Empathy, we are successful to the extent that we are empathetic with our audience and connect with them on their terms, right? But not just empathy, I'm talking about data-driven empathy, right? Decisions based on data. My friend Michael Agard, he's okay with this idea, combining the analytical process with the creative process. That's the sweet spot. That's what smart marketers do. It's not just about what I want to do, it's about what seems to be working. He is really happy with marketers that make, he's got a big smile down here, when your analytical process is the big part, right, and you're using that to plan and prioritize your content and measure the results afterwards, not so good to rely mostly on the creative process, right? It's about data-driven decisions. My final tip is a bit of advice on how to win every argument for the rest of your marketing career. Never bring an opinion to a data fight. Murray mentioned Gen Z. I'm Gen X, so obviously here's a Gen X reference. I think this movie was from the 80s. It's The Untouchables. There you've got Kevin Costner and Sean Connery playing, Elliot Ness here. The Depression era. He said, never bring a knife to a gunfight. Never bring an opinion to a data fight. The alarm should go off in your head whenever anyone mentions an opinion. People should not be mentioning opinions in marketing meetings. Theories, ideas, of course, but don't make decisions based on those until you've validated those. Finally, I'd like to recommend this book I've been reading. It's an excellent book. Look, my son is reading it. He's 8 months old, and he's just a champ at this stuff. Really smart. He tried to eat this book seconds later. But Google Analytics Breakthrough is something I'm learning a lot from. I highly recommend. And, of course, people know me for this. I wrote my own book on marketing. It's called Content Chemistry. So there we go, Dean. That's my story.
I know, and I was taking as many screenshots as we can off of this. Will we be able to make some of the slide deck available for folks? Because we were moving fast, and it was all good stuff. So
the whole thing. I will. I think Brianna and Ben should have it already. I'm happy to. I'll make sure that I'll Dropbox it to you guys just as we speak here right now while we take questions if you'd like.
Yeah. Well, right now, unfortunately, we are rock-locked out of time. So what we'll do is we'll have people divert those questions to Twitter. We'll go to hashtag SMS Summit, and people have been tweeting about this stuff. So it's rocking, it's good, it's amazing, and man, I am just blown away. And we've been using Google Analytics for quite some time, and then every time I listen to you, I see one more thing that I didn't know was in there. So thank you so much for that. So
glad if it's useful. I'll be on Twitter. My Twitter handle is my last name, so I'll be there doing my best to answer questions. And Dean, honored by the invitation, and happy to help just however I can.
Yeah, no, as always. And so, all right, so we want to thank Andy again for engagement, social media, and analytics, and as always, learning a ton. And you can join him on Twitter. There's a bunch of tweets waiting for you, Andy, so we'll let you go and rock and roll on some of those.